Someone wants to know what the difference is between a home cook and a line cook and how we get our food out so quickly. Right. Um, quite simply, I would say it comes down to economy of movement. I've spoke about this very briefly in my mise en place video, but I really do believe it has a lot to do with how you move in the kitchen and how you set things up correctly. The best example I could think of, I don't know how long this video is going to be, by the way, just because with line cooks, the reason why we're so fast is because we have all our components set up, ready to go. Imagine this box, Kraft mac and cheese, right? A home cook would take this box, open it, pour the pasta in, right? You boil it. What do? You boil it, you drain out the water, you add your butter, the cheese sauce, milk, and you're set, right? How long did that take you? A line cook does all the prep before it's time to cook. So what does that mean? It means, let's say I need to serve this at 6:30 for my kids for dinner, right? A home cook, I'll start at 6 and I'll start doing all this shit. A line cook would probably start this the day before. What I would do, I take everything that I'm gonna need. If I know that this is what's gonna be for dinner for the next, so it's 4, 5. My kids really love mac and cheese, by the way. Okay, here's a week's worth, right? Here's a week's worth, 7. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cook all that pasta at once, and then I'm gonna put it in a container in the refrigerator, right? And then if I choose to, I can portion it out into like Ziploc bags, right? So I don't have to guess, right? And then I take the cheese powder, I put those into little containers, or I could just set them aside, like in its own little, keep it in the bag. And then what do? And then I have, let's see what else. I'll need my butter, which I keep right next to the saute. Let me show you. I keep this shit stocked. This is a little less than what I'd want, so I'm going to put a whole stick in there. Okay, so everything's prepped. I got my butter. The cheese powder is set aside, usually next to it, right? And now my kid's like, Dad, I'm hungry. Great, you know what I do? Turn on a saute pan, get the temperature going, or a bowl, right? I put all my components. I take the bag, put it in there. I take the cheese in there. The cheese powder, I put it in there. And then a splash of milk, a spoonful of butter. With butter, dude, there's nothing wrong with going overboard because it's just fat. It's just flavor. It's going to make everything taste good. And guess what? 1, 2, 3, for a couple stirs. Basically, with mac and cheese, if I were to set this up, as long as it hits that boil, I turn off the heat, take it off, stir, 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 it's done. And it's not because I did anything fast. It's because I did all the prep work ahead of time. People that understand this the most are people that meal prep, right? But what they're doing, their meal prep is almost, sometimes there's no cooking involved. It's like they have the containers, everything. They have their chicken, their broccoli, and all that, and maybe they microwave for a few seconds. It's no different than that, except I set everything up so that when I'm cooking, I'm working a whole lot faster. It's that simple. I also do it, so aside from doing something like that, right, where you break down each step, right? So what do I mean by each step, right? Each step, first step is you cook the pasta, right? Second step is you drain out the water, right? So you can already have the pasta cooked and ready to go. What's the second step? You add the cheese and the butter and the milk. Well, you can have all that shit ready. Another thing that we do and it helps especially bring everything at the same time, and I do this every year during Thanksgiving, is I begin to work the thing that takes the longest, and then at the very end, I do the thing that takes the least amount of time. So what do I mean by that? So, for instance, the night before Thanksgiving, I'll do all my prep work. I'll do everything so that, again, so the next day or the next week, I don't have to sit here doing everything step by step. Everything's ready to go. I got all the ingredients I need for stuffing. I have all the ingredients I need for making stock and gravy. I have all, I've already broken down the turkey. I personally like to I don't like to put the whole turkey in the oven. I prefer to break down the turkey and then just bake it off like that. I brine it. I do a dry brine. I used to do a wet brine, but I prefer doing a dry brine. Again, I get the brine ready. I do the cuts. I do all this work. There's a lot of things that go into the food that comes out before it's even time to cook. It's like, how do you run a marathon? Well, it's like, I spent the last year training. You're never going to see that, So I'll break down so let's just go back with that, right? So I break down the turkey. And then what I'll do is I'll take the thing that takes the longest. So let's just say maybe baking the turkey, right? I'll put that in the oven, right? That takes the longest time. And then let's say this is the finish, like time to serve, right? This is the longest thing. Time's going. Then maybe at this point, I might start the mashed potatoes. I start the mashed potatoes. And then what takes the least amount of time? Doing the green beans and then a salad. And guess what? By the time everything is done, I'm taking out the turkey. The mashed potatoes are finishing up. I'm pulling out the green beans out of the oven. And while all that is heating up and just cooling off, I finish the salad. And guess what? I've done everything at the same time. In order to do things at the same time, and I know maybe it's really difficult to explain without me actually showing you how to do this, is start with the thing that takes the longest and do the thing that takes the shortest amount of time, do that thing last. And then it's just a matter about finding your rhythm, because I didn't find my rhythm with Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving to me is like my fucking Super Bowl. Like, I look forward every Thanksgiving to cooking. Like, I love it because it's like, picture a Thanksgiving dinner and you do everything. How am I going to do everything? It's called fucking preparation. Immediately, November 1st, you know what I'm doing? I'm making the menu. What are we going to have? And I'm not making extravagant things. So just think of like, I ask my family, I ask people who are going to show up, what do you want to eat? You need a turkey, you need gravy, you need stuffing, and you need green beans. And that's really all we did last year. No one wanted cranberry. No one was interested. We had the little, like the biscuits. And again, it's a 20-minute thing. Why? If it's a 20-minute thing to make biscuits, I'm going to do it 20 minutes before serving time. So if I plan on serving dinner at 5, I'm doing that at like 4:40, right? If it takes an hour for the turkey to be ready, right, including heating time, maybe I'll start at 4, maybe I'll start at 3:45. So that way I can pull out the turkey at 4:45. It can just chill there. It's not going to get fucking cold. And I can work on other things. It's just about time, man. That's the biggest difference I see as far as like a home cook versus a line cook. A line cook has done all the steps ready. So we have all the meats right in front of us. All we're doing is we just get the ticket order and we're making it. We just put the ingredients together, heat it up, stir, serve it. When we have a line full of tickets, it's no fucking different, except instead of like one order, it's like, I got 1, I got 2 here, so that's 3, 2 more there, that's 5. So now I'm going to set down my plates and I'm going to start cooking, you know? And if I'm cooking and it's early enough in the cooking process and I get 2 more orders and I have space in my saute pan, fuck it, let's make it a fucking party. And if there's if my restaurant, my kitchen has one of those big saute pans, then I'll fucking bust out the big saute pan and it's not a big deal. If I have to depend on other people as far as timing goes and same time, again, let's say for instance, like we have chicken kebabs, right? There's 2 thighs in each kebab, so there's 2. There's a little bit of Israeli salad, which is all it is. It's just cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, and lemon vinaigrette. Okay, with herbs like parsley, mint, and dill. Okay. So, let's say you get that, right? I get 3 chicken kebabs. Great. First thing, what's the longest thing that's going to take? It's going to be the chicken kebabs. That's the first thing I'm going to lay down on the plancha. Boom. Second thing, I can go ahead and do the Israeli salads on the little dish containers, okay? And imagine that this all gets served on a wooden board, right? So I put the wooden board down as a visual reference for me. I have 3 chicken kebabs all day. I got 2, 4, 6 kebabs working in the kitchen. And then I have 3 little containers with Israeli salad on it, great? And it's okay to go ahead and pour that out. Why? Because it's cold. Like, I'm not worried about it, right? If it was a hot thing, you wait. So then, what else do I need for this? I'm missing fries. Because you get the Israeli salad on the wood board on the top left corner. Then you get a mound of fries. And then you get a crisscross of the chicken kebabs. Okay? If I'm working fry, I'm going to let that guy know, hey, if it takes me a minute and 30 to do fries, I'm going to ask for 2 minutes. Because I'm also taking into account the time that I pull out. I'm taking the time that I put it in the bowl, season it, toss it, walk over to him. And understand, this is a problem that one of the cooks had. And I think he just had an ego. But it's a problem that anyone can have. And it's taking the time's fucking literal. It pisses me off when I say 2 minutes, right? And then I need some extra time. I'm like, yo, can you give me an additional... I need 30 more seconds. But you said 2 minutes. I remember like one guy, and he would just like... The guy would need a few more minutes because maybe he forgot something. Maybe he got set. You don't know what's going to happen on the line. That's what's fucking crazy about the line. You got to adapt to the fucking situation at hand. He'd immediately, if he knew he was like, you're 2 minutes out, cool. He'd start the fries immediately and then lay them down. And it's like, bro, it's been 5 minutes and now they're cold. Now you have to refire. But he said 2 minutes. You guys need to communicate. It's so fucking important for you guys to communicate with each other. Because if you need more time, let me know. It's not a big deal. I can hold off on the fries. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation. That's a communication thing. But anyway, great. The chicken's about to come off of the thing. I have my Israeli salad ready. Josue, fire. I'm ready for the fries. Great. Set them down. And by the time I come and lay down the fries on his wood board, guess what? Those chicken bobs are coming down. That's all it is. It's just about timing. Why the fuck would I fire fries the moment that ticket comes in? So you're telling me that I'm going to fire a 2-minute item for an order that takes maybe 7 minutes. That's my brain working at 100% capacity. Really? What do you think the fries are going to do when they're on the wood board for 5 minutes after you cook them for 2 minutes? They're going to get cold. And then what's going to happen? You're going to get an order sent back because, yeah, they said the fries were soggy and they were cold. It's ridiculous. So if you want to be more more of a line cook at your place, that's a great way to start. If you're eating this kind of shit, if you're eating rice-a-roni, whatever it is, the best thing you can do, take this shit out of the container. Start consolidating everything. Cook all your mac and cheese at once. And then portion it out in like a sandwich Ziploc bag. And then when you're hungry, guess what? And you can even dice up butter. You can even have little cubes of butter to exactly how much you need. You can go ahead if you need like if you want like a little ramekin of milk, go for it. I'm more of an eyeball kind of guy, so for me, if I was like mass producing mac and cheese, I would really only portion out the pasta. And then I would put the cheese powder like in a jar or a container with a pre-measured scoop. I'm guessing this maybe takes like a quarter cup, give or take. I have salt. Check this out. I'm going to show you something. I made a TikTok about like how do you know if you live with a line cook. And check this out. I have this little container and it lives next to the saute. My burner. You know all it is? Kosher salt. Because I'm not about to go like a dumbass, like a home cook, and go to the shelf, grab the box, and just fuck that shit. Do you know how easy it is? You're cooking, you're like, da 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 da, need a little salt, grab it, boom, put it in, done. To me, the seconds fucking matter. When I'm at home, not so much. But again, it's a habit that I've developed that I just can't. It fucking bothers me. Like if I can't just reach and grab it, it bothers me. If I can't just have this shit ready, it bothers me. So, difference between line cook and a home cook, I would say, is the amount of preparation that's done before it's actually time to fire that fucking food. It's that simple. You want to be more of a line cook? Look at your cabinets and see how much of that shit is in fucking cans. How much of that shit is in the containers that it is. Does it need to be there? Does it need to be processed? If you're like, I love fucking, if your thing is like, my son loves boiled eggs. So you know what? Instead of me every morning boiling fucking eggs, fuck that shit. Once a week, he goes to school 5 days a week, and I know he likes one at home, so you know what? I'll cook him 12, because there's 10 for 2 times a day, and then the extra 2 just in case. Always make a little extra than what you need. But yeah, again, I think the biggest difference, and maybe I'm oversimplifying it, and maybe you guys will point out a lot of fucking other things, but I think the overall difference between a line cook and a home cook is a line cook prepares everything before it's actually time to cook. The home cook, I feel like with my experience with home cooks, it's more about I can cook this, I can cook that, I can do this, I can do that, which is fucking great. I'm glad that you can cook really good food. But I'm going to beat you every single time because while you're over there like picking, you're like, we're going to have dinner tonight, we're going to have this, and you're doing and all that. I probably already figured out, I probably already planned, this is what we're having for dinner at 6 p.m. today. It is 10 a.m. I'm going to prep the next 2 hours, and then once 5 o'clock or however much time I need, I'm going to start working on it. And I'm going to start with the thing that takes the longest, and the thing that takes the least amount of time, I'm going to save that for last. Pretty simple. I think I summed it up. Yeah. Why not? Have a great service. Peace.